Chapter 33. Michael. Considering I could have died yesterday, things are going surprisingly well. I can't with any accuracy say how much sleep I managed last night, which might account for why my eyes keep closing for a second too long, and why I feel a gravitational pull to the ground, as if my body craves a horizontal posture. But what's important is that I don't miss a moment of this life-changing event. A low mist covers the fields and gives an ethereal quality to Bestwood. The sky is already turning a dusky grey, the sun pale and low on the horizon. It's the winter solstice and sunset is imminent. The place is deserted and crows are cawing overhead. I would have preferred nightingales, but there you go. Nature doesn't abide by man's demands. Jen looks stricken for a moment, and I can't be wholly sure whether the emotion of her expression is positive or negative. Does she find this a bit creepy because I sprung it on her without warning? Maybe I should have given her a note at this point to start it all off. Too late now. Shall we get some air? My voice sounds higher than normal and slightly strained. I clear my throat as I open the car door and move round to help her out. Jen gives me a look of suspicion. That's easy enough to decipher, as she accepts my hand and steps out of the car. We fasten our coats up as the chill wind blasts our faces. It's not like that in the movies. There's no gentle wind machine to lightly ruffle Jen's hair. She looks like she's going through a vortex at high speed. I pull her towards the ruins, hoping that everything is in place and no one has disturbed it. We step through an old bare doorway, arched with stone, and Jen breathes in sharply. The inside of this rather sheltered area is covered with fairy lights, like a magical grotto. Jen looks at me. What is this? Perhaps you should go and read the message. I point to where a vintage teacup is placed upside down on a saucer on one of the steps. Jen steps forward to lift it and pulls out a piece of paper. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same, she reads, eyes meeting mine with immediate recognition. Wuthering Heights. I thought I'd start you off easy. I shrug, trying to conceal how much I'm enjoying this. That's your first clue. Is there something hidden here? Jen smiles for the first time. Wuthering Heights. Is it something up high? She starts to look around and I feel dizzy with happiness. No, actually perhaps I just feel dizzy. I place a hand on the stone wall to steady myself. Jen is bounding over to a raised section where she climbs up and reaches a window ledge. Aha! She cries out, retrieving a jar. She opens the lid, pulls out another slip and reads, Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. You know where that's from? It's a sonnet, but I don't remember which one. That doesn't matter anyway, I grin. An ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests. Maybe the flag. She darts away, and I take the opportunity to briefly lower my head between my knees, just to get the circulation going. Then I stride around the wall to catch up with her. Well, stagger. Jen is looking up and down the flagpole and finds a tube of pencils hidden at the foot of it. She twists the lid and finds the paper folded inside it, giving me a smile of delight before reading it. If I loved you less, I might be able to talk about it more, but you know what I am. You hear nothing but truth from me. That's Mr. Knightley, she says promptly. She looks puzzled and then starts walking around, looking for another clue. Suddenly, I hear a bark and a giant greyhound comes bounding towards me. I panic and move to the side, but I miss my footing and fall in slow motion, inelegantly sprawled on the wet grass while the dog salivates over my head. Right on cue, the music starts. Roger! A woman scolds the dog, but with the inevitable, isn't he cute undertone to her voice. Come here! The dog scampers away and I manage to stand by getting on all fours and then pulling myself up on a rock. In the meantime, Pachelbel's Canon is blasting around the ruins. Michael? Jen reappears just as I brush myself down and scowl at the dog and its owner. Don't know where that music's coming from, the dog lady says, mystified. It's a Bluetooth speaker, I say in annoyance, willing her with my eyes to go away. Ah, technology, the woman says with a shrug. I like these fairy lights, there must be something going on. Yes, there is, I say pointedly. It's a sort of treasure hunt, Jen tells her. I want to facepalm. Ooh, that sounds like fun. I'm stuck on this one, Jen continues. You hear nothing but truth from me. Well, I saw a big mirror as I came from that direction, the woman says, pointing. Brilliant. I watch in despair as Jen heads over there, accompanied by the woman and the dog too. What a way to ruin a moment. I surge with hot, venomous anger. I haven't bust a gut here to set all this up, only to be thwarted by some dog walker and her stupid animal. I set off after them, calling to the woman. Perhaps you could take the dog and... Here I resort to gesturing, a shooing sort of motion. Oh! The woman inexplicably raises her voice. I see. I'd better leave you to it then. She clips a lead around Roger's neck and then gives me an over-exaggerated wink. I hope she says yes. As she finally walks off, Jen stops dead in her tracks and swivels round to face me, the mirror forgotten. Says yes, she repeats. Michael, you're not going to propose, are you? I shift awkwardly, cursing every dog owner in England for stealing my proverbial thunder. The violins are playing majestically on my speaker and the sky is turning pink. Aren't you going to check the mirror? I point towards it, seeing myself in the reflection. I look vampiric, I'm so pale. Jen walks slowly up to the ornate frame, which is leaning against a wall. She tips it forward and untapes the folded paper on the back. She opens it out, frowns, then steps back to hold it out facing the mirror in order to read it in the reflection. You are too generous to trifle with me. Her voice is low, like a murmur. Incidentally, mirror writing is hard to pull off. I had to try that one several times. Jen, I say, ready for my big moment. I kneel down before her, perhaps a little too enthusiastically because I lose my balance a bit, but I put my hand down to steady myself, then fumble in my coat pocket for the small box. Her hand flies to her mouth. Perhaps she will cry with happiness when she sees the diamond. I open the box, hoping that from her angle, it's sparkling and lustrous. I love you. Will you marry me? My head pounds with adrenaline, and it feels like time stands still. The wind whips through the battlements, and I involuntarily shiver, my hand still holding out the ring. I think I expected her to say something by now. Michael, she says finally. I didn't expect this. No, I thoroughly disguised every aspect of this perfectly executed plan, I silently congratulate myself. That ring looks amazing. It's exactly your size. Would you like to try it on? Well, I lift the delicate band from the velvet cushion and slip it onto the right finger. I've imagined this so many times. It does look perfect on her. I knew it would. But she still hasn't given me an answer. Will you marry me? I repeat, hopefully. She doesn't speak, but she nods her head. That's enough for me.